live-action human beings, a gigantic CGI dog, and a flimsy plot. Recipe for disaster? Yeah, but somehow it's not bad. It's not bad. We're talking about Clifford the Big Red Dog. Clifford the Big Red Dog was released in 2021. It was written by Jay Sherrick and David Ron and Blaze Hemingway and directed by Walt Becker. Now, I saw this movie on Tuesday for a pre-release showing, and I have not filmed it yet because I've been busy, so I apologize. This will be my only new release this week, just because my movie theater's not getting anything new, and I honestly don't really care to see Red Notice. It doesn't look like it's a movie for me. If it gets an Oscar nom, I'll watch it. But so far, it hasn't, so I don't really care to watch it. If you really want me to, comment down below and maybe I'll check it out this weekend. But let me know in the comments below if you really care about me watching that. But I personally don't see a reason to watch it. Anyway, Clifford. No spoilers, but the general idea is this girl goes to this weird fair of animals with her uncle while her mom's away. And they find this tiny little red dog, which they don't adopt, and then somehow manages to get into her backpack. Now, this young girl is bullied, so she's very sad. So she's like, I wish we could be big and strong, which is like this awful, awful dialogue. And then she cries onto the dog, and the dog, you wake up, and the dog's gigantic. And, that's really it. I mean, that's like the main, like, that's the trigger, right? That's the trigger of the film. And then they kind of go on this weird thing because the government wants to get the dog. Not the government, there's this company that wants the dog because the company is trying to make animals big so that they have more food, which that was a pretty cool idea, but also way too complex for children. Like, I got it. Like, I got it right away. I was like, okay, cool. That's actually not a bad idea. It's the same thing as, like, you know, he's got this really cool idea, but he's going to go the wrong way about doing it. And I feel like all of this could have been solved with, like, the main villain not being a jerk. Like, he could be a bad guy and still not be a jerk. Like, if you were to walk up to the dog, or to the dog owner, what's her freaking name? Emily, and was like, hey, your dog, we're curious as to why this is happening. We'd like to examine him. Which is what she's trying to get somebody to do for the entire movie. And if they had just collaborated on that, it might have been okay. Like, I feel like we didn't need, like, everything that went wrong for, like, the dumbest reasons. That, like, nothing mattered at all. But that being said, it's still entertaining. Like, it's still a fun movie. There were, I think, two times where I laughed, which is 2 out of, like, 50 that they were trying to get me to laugh. The comedy in this movie does not work because I think it is way too paralleled to, like, the distress that you were trying to also feel for Emily. It's like, yeah, Casey's really funny, but Emily is really sad. And, like, they don't work together. They really don't. Because there's not a time, really, when Emily's funny. And there's not a time when Casey is sad. So it's just like, we have these two characters that are very much in their own little split corners, doing their own little thing. And they're supposed to be connected. And I don't feel that at all. There's this weird, like, kind of gross, like, 6th grade love romance thing. I don't want to talk about it. I was just like, we didn't need that. We could have done without that. Easily. The whole character could have been dropped, pretty much. They were like, how do we get this to do this? And they're like, well, let's add, like, 5 more characters that do nothing. And I'm just like, God. It sounds like I'm bashing on the film, but I'm really, like, it's not bad. Like, I don't hate it. Will I ever watch it again? Absolutely not. But, like, for a movie that I went in, like, thinking I'm going to hate this movie, it was, like, really not bad. Like, I actually think it was fine. Clifford himself looks a little strange sometimes, particularly as a puppy. As a puppy, he has, like, this giant fat neck, right? He's like me, right? Like, I have, like, no neck. And, like, he's a freaking puppy. Like, I just feel it looked so disproportionate. Like, not only was he red, he looked weird. And the CGI is fine. It's not good. It's kind of like TV show, like, Superwoman kind of feel, like, where it's just like, okay. It's like, we know your budget's not great, but, like, could you do a little better? And yeah, they probably could have. The issue was, like, they were trying to make a red dog, and I just feel like the red was way too bright. It was similar to, like, the Hulk in the 2003 Hulk movie, where just, he's so green. Like, and he looks green, like, radioactively green, which, yes, he is radioactive, but that's not his point. Like, it doesn't look correct, right? And the same thing here with the red on the dog. You're like, okay, let's choose a red. And they went with, like, Tom Holland's Spider-Man red instead of, like, what they should have done, which is, like, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man red. Like, they should have gone with a more, like, darker tone. Because, yeah, it's a red dog. We already know, and it's kind of weird. But if they were to make it, like, a dark red, it might have been a little more believable, and it might have looked a little bit better. But that's neither here nor there. It's a children's movie with medium rare CGI. I'm not that surprised. The acting is fine. Darby Camp does fine as Emily, and Jack Whitehall is fine as Casey. They just don't work together very well, in my opinion. I think that both of their characters are written very poorly, and they just don't do anything that works together. Like, they're not complementary characters, in my opinion. Like, if they had any kind of, like, if Emily was, like, actually funny, and if Casey was, like, actually not funny at any point, I think I might have actually enjoyed their characters a little bit more, but they were just written solely for the purpose of, like, you are going to make them cry, and you are going to make them laugh afterwards, and I'm just like, like, I don't see why they needed to do that. I really don't. Whatever. And there are some films where that works, and this is just not one of them, in my opinion. John Cleese as Bridwell was definitely the highlight of the film. He's the guy that, you know, raises the weird animal. He's great. I really do like him. Bridwell is the name of the guy that wrote the Clifford book, so I thought that was kind of neat. I grew up reading them when I was younger, but I was more of a Dr. Seuss guy. But I don't know, I just felt like his character's fun. Like, he's just this weird, charismatic, like, fun British dude, and I liked that. I was okay with that. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe he shouldn't be around children, but, you know, whatever. Like, again, I don't think it was the greatest thing in the world. I really don't, but it was fine. The guy who played the villain, I didn't write his name down because I forgot he was in the movie. Not great. He's just this weird... He actually reminds me exactly of the villain from Ron's Gone Wrong from previous last month. Just this weird tech conglomerate guy who's like, I don't care about anybody but me. And it's like, but the whole purpose of your company is to help others. And, like, yeah, that's cool, but it's a children's movie. We don't need that. Like, they're not going to understand it. Like, you know, like, oh, big red dog. That's all they care about. And the parents just don't care about either. So it's like, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. They could have, and they should have gone without that whole thing. But again, it's a fine movie. If you want to take your kids, do that. It is streaming, I think, on Paramount Plus. I think it's Paramount Plus. I saw it in theaters. You do you. If you want to check it out, do it. If you don't, I get it. But I'm going to go ahead and give Clifford the Big Red Dog a C+. Have you guys seen Clifford the Big Red Dog? Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about it. Again, I think it's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm never watching it again. But it is a movie that exists. I don't think there'll be a sequel. But actually, with the success of this film, they might. I haven't been to the movie theater in a while. Like, I haven't worked there since before Clifford came out. But I'm working it this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see how it goes. I think it will be busy. I think that Clifford's going to draw on a lot of families, but we'll see. Money always dictates sequels, so I guess it is possible to see a sequel, but the way that they ended it didn't really seem like they were going to try to do a sequel, but I also think that they expected this movie to fail, and honestly, it didn't fail. I mean, it's not great, but it didn't fail per se, but whatever. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing, because once we get to 200 subscribers, I'm going to be doing an 8-hour-long variety show that you're not going to want to miss, so definitely consider doing that. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.